Okay, so I have a couple questions for Monogem first. Um, what inspired you to start your music career?
Oh, wow. Well, I'd be lying if I didn't say my biggest inspiration as a child was Mariah Carey. um, I guess I've been singing ever since I was 3 or 4 years old, so it was just in my blood from an early age. And I think I really started to take it seriously after I graduated from Berklee College of Music in Boston. That was sort of like this no turning back point. And then, yeah, the creation of Monogem happened about 3 or 4 years ago, and I sort of wanted to rebrand and reinvent myself. I was doing a singer-songwriter thing, and I wanted to try and experiment a little more with electronic music, so thus the birth of Monogem.
Okay. Do you have any specific artists that you look up to right now?
Yes. I'm a huge fan of Jessie Ware. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her. She's out of the UK. I also love Solange, and I love Banks. Also, Aluna George. I mean, the list could go on forever. James Blake. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of all of those artists, and they influenced me greatly.
Okay. Could you tell me a little bit about what it was like making your upcoming EP?
Yeah, so it's been let's see, it took me about a year and a half to make it. And I experimented a little bit more with collaborating with some new people, new songwriters. So I've been working a lot with a producer named Peter Dyer. He also plays with me live, and he produced most of the tracks on the EP. So working with him was incredible. We got to play with a lot of old analog synths and some modular synths and a really cool thing called a Therevox. We were able to use some really interesting, unconventional instruments making this EP, and it sort of took us out of our traditional keyboard-driven, keyboard-focused way of making music, and was able to stretch our boundaries a little bit. So making this EP, I'd say, was like really exciting for me because I was able to sort of push the limits a little bit with production and some new songwriting.
Okay. And the music video for your newest single, Wild, was absolutely amazing. What was the inspiration behind that music video?
Originally the song was written about, like, plain and simple, like, haters. I remember writing the song that day. I was annoyed with whatever was going on. Somebody had judged me for a decision I had made with the way I wanted to live my life, and I wanted to write a song about that. And the biggest thing was, like, life's too short. And then life's too short, now that we're wild. And so the song was made, and then when we were discussing the visual to go along with it, it sort of, like, took on a new life of its own to reach a much wider audience. And I just can only hope that this video has inspired viewers and listeners to feel comfortable in their own skin. And that's, tying in Matthew RC Taylor and Coco Arquette to have some youthful blood in the video, I thought was super inspiring to work with young talent like that. And I hope that I've inspired viewers and listeners to feel comfortable in their own skin.
Okay. Did you have any moments while creating this EP that stood out to you the most?
music video, which coincides with the song Wild, was a huge moment for me. I mean, it's so amazing seeing something that you've envisioned come to life, and we were able to do that shoot in one full day, which I don't know if you've been on productions like that, but it's so hard to do those things in just one day. And
that's impressive.
So accomplished, and knew that I just felt so confident at the end of that day that this video was going to portray everything I wanted to portray, and that was a huge milestone for me to be able to like pull that off. Essentially, I produced the video, got all of the actors and the talent and director of photography and directors and everything, and it all worked out, and the vibes were so good on set, and so I just couldn't be more proud of that day.
Okay. Are there any details about the new EP that you could tell us about? Like any background information, anything that like your fans might not already know?
Well, again, with the production, I feel like my fans have never heard anything along these lines of what they're about to hear. There's a couple of like deeper tracks on the EP. There's a song called Realize and a song called I Am, which sort of take the listener somewhere else. I mean, when I'm listening to it, I feel like I'm transported somewhere else, and I've never really done that before with my music. I've really just focused on writing a solid pop song and making sure that it's, it's groovy and we can dance to it, and that was like mainly my main focus, was just writing like a great song, and I felt like I pulled away from that a little bit in a perfectly artistic way, but I feel really excited that I was able to pull away from the traditional pop form structure and just really write what I was feeling in those moments. So there's a couple of tracks that I'm really excited for listeners to like come on this sonic journey with me.
Do you have maybe any details on when the project might be released?
Yes. The EP comes out May 19th.
Okay.
Just right around the corner. And then, and I'm having a release show in LA on May 24th at the Bootleg Theater. And I'll be headed to the East Coast in August. So those dates will be announced soon.
Well, that's awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite song on the EP?
Yes, that would be 100%. That was a single I just released last week via Pop Crush.
Okay.
It's just like, it's one of those songs, like normally, song can take me anywhere from, weeks, months to write. I mean, it takes time. It can take time to really perfect something. And that particular song was a song that took me about 4 hours to write. It just like totally poured out of me. And it's about that feeling when you are doubtful and vulnerable, when you really are getting to know somebody. So, aside from it being the favorite track on my EP, I felt like it was the perfect title for the EP because my listeners, new and old, are still getting to know me. So I just thought that it was totally and completely 100% me.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you so much for answering my questions. That was perfect. I have a couple questions for Matthew now.
Yes.
See, all right.
Yes.
So, how did you get involved in this project?
Actually, a manager I had, Jen, reached out to him, and they wanted someone who wasn't Jen wanted someone who wasn't afraid to put on makeup, and so my manager thought that it was perfect for me. Is that right, Jen? You're so right. Okay.
Do you have any other fun projects in the works that you could tell us about?
I actually just signed with the network Optimist TV, so we'll see where they take me to that. I will be attending Playlist Live at VidCon, so just the projects on the stage there and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit more about what it was like for you to making this video?
Overall, the video was really fun. I think the way Jen, her views that she wants to put into her work are very somewhat like, yeah, they're very like original, and they're just like speak to everyone. You know, it's the way she puts work into it is just it's a message, and it's amazing. So the project was just very fun when you're in an environment like that.
Okay. I have just a couple more questions for both of you, actually. What social media platforms do you guys use the most to stay connected to your fans?
What, social media?
Yeah.
I like to use Twitter. You can just like type a bunch of stuff and ask questions, and I think that's where I'm connected to my followers the most. Yeah, I like Instagram, and I'm really trying to get better at Facebook. I feel like I have the most contact with fans via Facebook, though. Like, I feel like that's where I'm replying and messaging the most.
Makes sense, that more like personal connection. Do you guys have any other talents that you have other than singing and doing YouTube that you'd like to tell your fans about?
Matthew? For me, I like to do makeup. I actually am starting to do like tutorials on Instagram and YouTube that will be like released pretty soon. So yeah, I like to do makeup. Nice. Yeah, he's amazing at makeup. Amazing. I recently just started DJing, and I've been DJing out around town, and it's definitely a brand new skill, but I think I'm like kind of good at it, so I'm gonna keep rolling with it.
All right. Well, that's about all the questions I have for you. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to do this interview with me.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Of course, of course. All right. Well, have a great day, both of you.
Yeah. You too. Okay. Thank you. You too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.